Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. My name is Rahma Haritsa Fitriani from Extensive Reading G. Today I would like to report my reading short stories. The first short story is about Rapunzel. Author The Brothers Grimm. Title Rapunzel. Genre fairy tale. First published on 1812. There are 5 parts of short story. The first is theme, second character, third setting, fourth conflict, 5 plot. For the first, I think it displays a picture of love, actual true love, more strongly than most. Because through selfishness and lack of love of others, Rapunzel was imprisoned. It was not until someone came and loved her. Not a selfish love, but real, true love. That she was finally released from the tower and lived a life of freedom. And that is why I believe Rapunzel is a tale of true love. Second, character. For the character, Rapunzel is kind and beautiful. For the character Prince is handsome, helpful, and brave. For the character the Enchantress is selfish, evil, and cruel. For the character Woodcutter is brave and loves his wife. For the character his wife is selfish. The setting of the story takes place in a forest. For the conflict, Rapunzel is that she wants to escape and leave the tower, but the Enchantress will not let her. And the last part of short story is plot. The plot consists 5 parts. The first is introduction, second rising action, third climax, fourth falling action, and the last is resolution. And this is plot story of Rapunzel. The plot starts with a woodcatcher and his wife who live in the forest near the Enchantress. The wife wants a rampion planted in the Enchantress' garden. At night, the husband steals the rampion, but the Enchantress catches him and makes him promise that if his wife gives birth to a child, the child will be taken. The Enchantress took and raised a baby girl who was named Rapunzel. When Rapunzel grew up to be a beautiful woman, the Enchantress imprisoned her in a tall dark tower with no stairs or doors, which could only be accessed by letting her beautiful long hair, smooth as bone gold, flow through the window. One day, the handsome prince found Rapunzel singing a sad melody, and the prince fell in love with Rapunzel and aimed to take her to his kingdom. Before the prince could do it, the Enchantress cut Rapunzel's hair and took her to the desert, then tricked the prince by using Rapunzel's hair. The prince jumped out of the tower and fell into the thorns, causing him to lose sight. He wandered for several months until he finally found Rapunzel. When Rapunzel saw Prince, she was crying and making the prince's vision clear. Finally, they got married and returned to the kingdom, living happily ever after. And then for the moral value of Rapunzel's story, when something is destined to happen, then no one, by any of their powers, can stop that from happening. We should never give up on our hopes, no matter how bad or hard the situation. And the second short story is about Robin Hood. Author Shreya Sharma, title Robin Hood, genre historical fiction, published on 19 January 2016. There are 5 parts of short story. The first is theme, second character, third setting, fourth conflict, and the last is plot. I think for the theme is about social and economic justice, because Robin Hood and his gang often steal gold from Prince John. funds raised as taxes from poor people. From there, Robin Hood will redistribute the wealth to its original owners. The second is character. Robin Hood, Little John, King Richard, Friar Tuck, Maid Marian, Lady Clark, they are good guys. Meanwhile, Prince John and Sheriff of Nottingham are bad guys. For the setting, in Sherwood Forest, Festival of Nottingham, and the Castle of Nottingham. And then for the conflict is about Prince John is taking money from the people of England. Robin Hood robs from the rich to give back to the poor. The Sheriff of Nottingham tries to arrest him and they have many fights. And the last part of short story is about plot. The plot consists 5 parts. The first is introduction, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. Plot story of Robin Hood. One day, Robin Hood came to the Nottingham Festival. In the final round, he competes with the Sheriff of Nottingham. But he wins an archery contest and runs into trouble with Prince John and Foy. Robin Hood and Little John fought the quads until they were victorious, and they fled to the forest. Meanwhile, Friar Tuck is imprisoned, so Prince John wants to trap Robin Hood, but with Robin Hood's ingenuity he managed to save Friar Tuck. And then Robin Hood robbed into Prince John's room and stole all of his wealth to give back to the poor people. They overthrew the Sheriff of Nottingham, and King Richard took his place on the throne. Finally, happiness returned. Robin Hood and Maid Marian got married. For the moral value of Robin Hood's story is to know right from wrong, act with a conscience, and be prepared to help those in difficulty or less fortunate than ourselves. Thank you for your attention, guys. Telas I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.